Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, attendance was as
WNBA players have expressed frustration following Caitlin Clark's early exit from the playoffs, believing that fan support has dwindled as a result. Many fans reportedly tuned out after her elimination, leading to a sharp decline in playoff viewership. Recent statistics from the semifinals reveal troubling trends for the league, as interest appears to have dropped significantly. Clark's departure, fueled by what many are calling questionable foul calls, has left the WNBA struggling to maintain momentum. With viewership already halved since her exit, the outlook for the remainder of the playoffs continues to worsen.
Want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us? Really? Caitlin Clark is the Golden Glove.
I mean, what kind of sport does this? Lets their best player get treated terribly all season, don't permit the Fevers to have a game at home in the playoffs, then lets their sport die and decrease in viewers after every single game. NBA is the only sport where teams advance to a final unless people get interested after every game. Caitlin is now on her way to Europe, where she is supposedly taking a break, but could also be tempted by a big money move to the EuroLeague.
Be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games.
Honestly, who could blame Caitlin if she decided to make a move? She'd be earning 10 times what she makes now and finally receive the respect she deserves. The WNBA even denied her the chance to be a unanimous Rookie of the Year. One voter inexplicably chose Angel Reese instead. That voter should be publicly identified and held accountable.
Been unanimous.
Should have been. I agree.
Unanimous. It should have been unanimous. And one of the things that sticks with me is, well, she was the first rookie to get a triple.
Viewer numbers are dropping by the minute, and the WNBA is finally experiencing the full force of the Caitlin Clark effect. Many players believe fans only tune in to watch Caitlin, and honestly, they're not wrong. Aya Wilson wasn't pleased when fans called her game boring. "This is the year I've heard that more than ever," she said. "I'm like, okay, cool, whatever." Clearly, Aya isn't happy with the declining viewership, even after winning MVP. But the truth is, her impact on the league doesn't come close to what Caitlin Clark has brought.
28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment? Why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why exactly? Why when Asia was releasing the shoe were we talking about
The magnitude of Caitlin Clark's absence from the WNBA playoffs goes far beyond viewership numbers. It reveals a deeper issue within the league, the fragility of its audience base and how heavily it relies on a single player to sustain its newfound momentum. Clark wasn't just a star for the Indiana Fever, she was the lightning rod that drew national attention to the entire WNBA. When the Fever were eliminated by the Connecticut Sun and Clark's rookie season ended, the drop in viewership was immediate and dramatic. But more importantly, it exposed an uncomfortable truth. Without its biggest star, the league struggles to hold the public's attention.
2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is, if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did.
Viewership dropped by more than half after Caitlin Clark was eliminated from the playoffs, a clear sign that she was the primary driver of the league's audience. This isn't a coincidence or a fluke, it's a reality the WNBA can't afford to ignore. The league has leaned heavily on Clark's star power to boost visibility, and without her on the court, it's been exposed for its struggle to retain viewers.
Since, Angel Reese had that injury to me, and also coming off of Olympic break, Caitlin Clark separated herself. Yeah. She should have been unanimous. Now to celebrate her, one thing that people forget is as a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8 assists.
The sharp decline in viewership is a wake-up call for the WNBA. For years, the league has battled low ratings and attendance, but Caitlin Clark's breakout season offered a glimmer of hope. Her games consistently drew record numbers, and for a brief moment, it felt like the WNBA had finally turned a corner. But with Clark out of the playoffs, it's become clear that the league's recent surge in popularity wasn't as solid as it seemed. Without her on the court, the WNBA has struggled to maintain excitement. Fans who tuned in religiously to watch Clark had little reason to stay once she was gone. While the remaining teams are still competitive, they simply don't offer the same level of star power or charisma that Clark brought, and that absence has led to a noticeable drop in buzz around the playoffs.
Jordan effect on the NBA and the game of basketball. I would argue at one point early on there was a Steph Curry effect on the NBA and on basketball also. You bet your ass there is a Caitlin Clark effect on all of basketball, and especially on women's basketball.
One of the most troubling aspects of Caitlin Clark's exit from the playoffs is the way it unfolded. Throughout the season, she endured constant physical play, hard fouls, excessive contact, and often little to no consequence for the opposing players. Despite the league's public praise of her talent, the WNBA failed to offer Clark the protection a player of her caliber deserves. This wasn't just about a few missed calls, it was a season-long pattern of unchecked physicality that took a visible toll on her body and, arguably, contributed to her team's early elimination.
We don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world. Something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league.
Second half really set the tone for me, for her to be, and should have been, the unanimous Rookie of the Year.
And it wasn't just one triple-double. She had 2 on the season.
And this is why we would love for the WNBA to make voting not anonymous. Because if you were the person that had
Stand
that
on
one
it.
vote, you should just be able to stand on it, and we should know who.
The series against the Connecticut Sun was a glaring example of the WNBA's failure to protect Caitlin Clark. She was fouled hard multiple times, yet referees were hesitant to blow the whistle. It felt as though the league didn't fully understand the importance of safeguarding its most valuable player. Fans watching from home grew increasingly frustrated as Clark was repeatedly knocked around with minimal intervention from officials. This isn't just an isolated incident, it's part of a broader, long-standing issue within the WNBA, inconsistent and often lax officiating, especially when it comes to physical play. But when the face of the league's resurgence is being subjected to this level of unchecked aggression, the stakes are far higher. The WNBA simply cannot afford to let its biggest star be worn down like this, especially when she's central to the league's growth and visibility.
Has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Caitlin didn't bring citizens to the WNBA. This has been happening. And that, I think, is what's been such a shock for all.
Caitlin Clark's breakout season was not just a personal triumph, it was a massive opportunity for the WNBA to showcase its potential to a wider audience. Her games were drawing in viewers from all over the country, many of whom had never watched a WNBA game before. This was a moment for the league to capitalize on the buzz surrounding Clark and build a lasting fan base, but by failing to protect her, the WNBA squandered that opportunity. Fans know exactly what happened. They saw how Clark was treated on the court, and many of them have been vocal about their frustration. Social media has been filled with comments from fans who feel that the WNBA let Clark down, allowing her to be fouled repeatedly without proper officiating.
Very, very few people, but there are some out there who resent the fact that this young white girl came out there and did her thing. Rookie of the Year, 4th in the league for MVP voting, assist leader, one of the top leading scorers after the Olympic Games. She put on a show, validating all the attention she was receiving.
If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.